In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at the portal that test administrators will visit to conduct the Pearson PARCC test. You, as a test administrator, will need to know two sites. One, the training site, and one, the live site. We're going to start by looking at the live site. The live site is where you will go to conduct the test when the PARCC test is actually happening. So to do that, you will go to PearsonAccessNext.com, and up here in the bar, I've already typed in PearsonAccessNext.com. I will then select my state. Upon doing that, the next screen will allow me to log in. If you do not remember your password, you can click on Forgot Password and an email will be sent to you letting you reset the password. If you forgot your username is your email address. So I'm going to go ahead and click Sign In. And my username, again, is my email address. I've already put in my password, and I can click Sign In. And now I am in the live site. And I know it's live because over here on the left, it says Pearson Access Next. And the site is blue. This is where you go for the actual PARCC test. Now we're going to take a look at the training site. The training site is where we would do the infrastructure trial. To get to this portal, you're going to go to training, trng.pearsonaccessnext.com. I've typed that up there in the address bar, and upon doing that, I will get a page that is very similar to the live, but it is brown, and it says training right here. Again, over here on the right-hand side, you're going to put in your username and password. This is a different site, so you're going to have maybe a different password. I cannot remember many passwords, so in this instance, I did use the same password for both my training site and the live site. If you forget your password, you can click here, and your username again is your email address. I'm going to go ahead and click Sign In, and upon doing that, I'll enter my email address and my password, and the site will then be brown, and it says training. I know that this is where I'm going to do the infrastructure trial. Today's training is going to look at the different areas of Pearson Access Next, which is also known as PAN. And so I am going to show you each the important actions that you need to take to conduct the test. So what you see in the training site will be exactly like the live site, but we're going to work in the training site, and you as a test administrator can also work in the training site. You can play around and become more familiar with each of these settings so that you are ready for the PARCC test. I want to bring your attention up to the top to begin with. Right here, we need to make sure we're set for 2016 spring PARCC in this tutorial. Over here is a drop down, and you have been assigned a building. If you teach in 2 buildings, then you possibly have 2 buildings assigned. You will need to make sure that you have the right building. So I'm going to go ahead and click Lincoln for this tutorial. And now I can see that Lincoln appears here. And over here is my account. The buttons that you are going to want to pay attention to on testing day are found right here in the middle under test testing. Student tests, sessions, students and sessions. You as a test administrator will only need to worry about sessions and students in session. I also want to bring your eye over here to testing. This button is the same as this here. If I click testing, I will see the same 3 drop-down choices. So as a test administrator, you are going to first always have to get your session. And then once you have chosen your session, we will look at the students in session. All of the other buttons are not necessarily applicable to you. So don't worry about them. Just remember to go to testing and go to sessions. So I'm going to go ahead and click on sessions. When I click on sessions, nothing will be visible to me until I do the following step. Right here under the search drop-down menu is a choice to show all results. I will check show all results, and upon doing that, all of the test sessions in your building will be listed. In this tutorial, I have only created 2 test sessions, so I will only see 2. But if I was at Edison, I would see 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, and I would see all of the teachers' sessions in this screen. I do not like that we cannot see everything here. So what I can do is simply push hide. That filter goes away, and now I can see the entire headers and all of the information for the sessions. Your session name will be similar to this right here, 3HOG. So in this particular session, I'm a 3rd grade teacher and my last name is Hogue. You cannot tell if this is a math session or an ELA session until you come over here to test. Now I can see that this one is for grade 3 math and this one is for grade 3 ELA. I can also see the number of students that have been assigned to this test. If I want the filters to show back up again, I can click Show Filters, and over here on the left-hand side, the filters will now appear. But again, this is something in which I don't care to see this usually, so I push Hide. If there are several sessions here and you need to quickly find yours, you could, right here, search for it by putting in your grade level. So in this instance, again, it would be 3, and then you could do HO and push search, and then obviously the 2 will appear. So if you don't want to search through all of the sessions, you can do a search. So once you have found your sessions, the next step will be to select them. So if you would like to select both, you can do that by just checking the box in front of your session name. Or if you're just going to test math, you could just select math. In this instance, I am going to go ahead and select both. If you are at the high school, for example, there is not going to be a session name for you with your name. It is just going to be generic. It's going to say ELA or math. All of the test administrators will go to the same session and find all of the students. So I want to bring that to your attention. If you're a special ed teacher and you know that your students are in Mrs. Hogue's class, then you will need to go find Mrs. Hogue's session and select it. If they are in another teacher's session, you can select several sessions at one time. So if this was Mrs. Hogue, you would select here, and if this was Mr. Jarvis, you could select this one as well, and then you would see your students in these sessions that you're going to test. Now that I've selected these 2 sessions, the next step will be to go to students in session. So I'm going to bring to your attention, you're not on that main page anymore, but up here it says testing, and again the second step is students in session. Pearson knows that these are 2 areas that test administrators are going to visit frequently. So if you notice, right here we're on the sessions page, but right next to the sessions page, it knows the next step is frequently to go to students in sessions. So I can just click go to students in sessions right now. Now that I'm on students in sessions, you can see that I have selected 2 sessions over here. To view the students in the session, I have to actually click on the session name. So right here, I'm going to click on 3 Hogue. And when I do that, right underneath here are my students. I only have 5 students enrolled in this test session. I'm going to, again, hide the filter because I like to see all of the information right here. So I'm going to push hide. And you can see my students. Again, from this name right here, I am unable to tell if this is the math or the ELA test until I come down here and I look at the session. So upon clicking this, I will view session, and I can clearly see that this is ELA. On this screen, we're going to take a look at some of these buttons. The first one is Start. In order to start the test on day 1, we will click Start. This may be a task that the test administrator does or your building coordinator. So I'm going to go ahead and push Start, and upon pushing Start, you will see that the interface changes just slightly. We will not push stop until the last day of testing. So we do not push stop after every single day. We leave this running until the very last day. So don't worry about pushing stop. To the right of that is download resources. This year there will be no seal codes. So this button here is a little deceiving as there are no seal codes. Rather than doing seal codes this year, there will be an unlock and lock feature that I will discuss in a minute. Scheduled sessions is something that is not applicable to you either, but I do want to let you know that there are student testing tickets that will be printed, and you can print them however you desire, but in this instance, our testing coordinator for your building will be printing those for you. The update cache is nothing you need to worry about either. That's how the technology department will cache the content so it is here locally, which will then allow us to use less bandwidth. If you need to push refresh, here's your refresh button. This area right here shows me that in grade 3 ELA, there will be 3 units, Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 3. The tests must be given in this order, 1, 2, 3. But if you do have a student that's gone on day 1 of testing, they can go ahead and start on day 2 with their classmates. Again, seal codes are no longer. Instead, what the test administrator will do is take this button right here and just simply click on the unlock. Upon doing that, the screen down below will show that these 5 students are now ready to take Unit 1 test. There is not a padlock in front of the word ready anymore. They are able to take the test. Unit 2 is locked, Unit 3 is locked. Only one unit can be unlocked at a time. So if I came over here and tried to unlock this test, I would not be able to because Unit 1 is currently locked. Or unlocked rather, excuse me. If I wanted Matt to take Unit 2, I could go ahead and lock him. And now that Matt is locked, I am able to come over here and unlock Unit 2 for him. So you can see that Matt is ready for Unit 2, where his other classmates are taking Unit 1. Because Matt is doing something different than his classmates, if you come back up here to the top, you can see Unit 1 is mixed. That means some students are taking Unit 1 and some are not, and same with 2, whereas Unit 3 is still locked. As students are taking the session test, you will see that they have a status key in front of the session name. So right now, currently, all of these students are green, which lets me know they are active and ready to go. When they are done at the end of the day, they will turn to exited. And when they are completely done with 1, 2, and 3, they will become completed. If they, for some reason, do not complete it correctly and the teacher needs to mark them complete, their status would be marked complete. If you need to refresh to see where they're at on the session, you can again come up here and click refresh. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this student here, Denzel Valentine. You can see that he is ready to take Unit 1. The padlock is missing. He is not able to take 2 or 3 at this time. So we're going to log in as him right now. So right here we have the URL. I will tell you that there will be on each one of your students' computers a shortcut that they will click on. So right on the desktop, there will be a shortcut. They will not have to type this in to the web browser, but if for some reason the shortcut is not found on the desktop, on your test ticket, the student will see that there is the URL that they could manually type into the browser. But again, the shortcut will be visible on the desktop. So once I go ahead and enter the information that's on my test ticket, the username and password, I can push sign in. Before doing this, I do want to bring your attention that you should test audio every time before taking the test to make sure that there are no problems with the audio, that it is working properly, that you don't need to come down here and adjust the sound level. So always test the audio first. We are on the PARCC training site for students. This is where they come to take the test. Their interface is called TestNav. You can also go directly to the practice tests right here by clicking this link. But we're going to go ahead and go into the PARCC training for Denzel, and we're going to push sign in. And when we do that, we will see that Unit 1 is ready to go. He can push start on Unit 1. He is not able to take Unit 2 or Unit 3, but Unit 1 is ready to go and he can push start. Once he pushes start, he will be taken into the test for ELA Unit 1. Now you can see that Denzel Valentine is able to start the test now. Grade 3 ELA Unit 1. This is the first section. There are 15 total questions. He can click Start Test Now, and here he will be able to start the test. He can answer the questions. He can maneuver through the test. If he doesn't know number 2, he can skip it. If he doesn't know number 3, he can bookmark it. We have drag and drop. If he wants to review what he has done so far, we can see if he's answered the question or not. Question 1 has not been answered. The guide says not answered, 14. Question 2 is not answered. Question 3 is not answered and it has been bookmarked. Question 4 has been answered. So he can easily go back to question 1 and answer it if he wants, or he can go down to question 15 if he wants. This is new, this review screen right here. When he is done, he can sign out of TestNav. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Even though he's not done, we are going to sign out of TestNav. I want to exit this test and finish later. Yep, save and return later. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what the teacher will see for this student. Now when I go back into Pearson Access Next, the Test Administrator portal, I can see that in Unit 1, I have one student that is in exited status. And if I scroll down here to Unit 1, here's my student, Denzel Valentine, who is in exited status. I can click on the word exited to see the student test and item progress, and I can see he has visited questions 1 through 5. He has answered only 4. And so also it will show you up here on the bar, 1 answered, 5 visited, 9 remaining. I will tell you that most often test administrators will have to come back in and resume a student. That is the task that we saw happened most last year, is a student may have accidentally exited the test, or maybe they were kicked out of the test. And so in this step, I am going to show you as a test administrator how to resume a student. It's very simple. Right down here next to the word exited, if the student needs to start up again, we would then click on the down arrow and we could say resume. When we push resume, we can see that the student is ready to go, and we can instruct the student to go ahead and log back into TestNav and resume the test. This again is the most frequently done task that test administrators need to complete. And again, it's very simple. They'll just come to exited and they will see resumed. Again, I'm going to hide this filter for a second, so you can see that all of the headings are appearing, and we can easily click on each one of these students to see their progress on the test. So once more, I would like to just run through what you as a test administrator will need to do on the day of infrastructure trial and also on the days that you test for the PARCC test. When you get to the site, the Pearson Access Next site, whether it be the live site or the training site, once you enter your credentials, you'll hit the home page. Right here's our home page. You will mainly be paying attention to this testing area. Again, this testing area is the same as this right here. The two buttons that are most important to you are sessions and students in sessions. Remember, you first have to go get your sessions. So we're going to go do that right now. Click sessions. When we click sessions, we will want to search for our session name. Again, 3rd grade, Hogue, H-O. I can search for it, or I can look for it right here in this area. Once I select these two, I'm going to go to students and sessions. Right now I see no students because from the session list I have not selected my session. When I click this session, I will then see my students that are taking this test. I can hide the filters so that all of the headings appear here and I'm able to see their status. One other thing I want to bring to your attention is if they're not in alphabetical order for some reason and you're trying to find them, you can just click the last name heading and it will put them in alphabetical order. Or maybe you only know the student's first name because you are testing a large group. You can click first name and it will put them in order. So again, the two screens that you're going to be paying attention to are go to sessions and go to students in sessions. One other area that I will bring to your attention, which may not be relevant to you, but will be for special ed teachers, is under testing. The third button that we did not discuss is student test. And this is where you can go in and make sure that the accommodations for your students are correct. So here we have no students right now. I'll go ahead and push show all results. All of my students that I am testing are here. I could select the student's name. I can go up here to start, edit student tests, and I would be able to see the accommodations for the student right here. So this is where you would check for accommodations. When you're done with this area, you'll push exit tasks. Again, as a test administrator, focus on the testing button and sessions and students in sessions.
Let's go Spartans!